For centuries, the world believed Africa's story began with European discovery, a continent isolated, untouched by the vast currents of global trade and cultural exchange. A land locked away, awaiting salvation or exploitation. But the ocean remembers. It holds the echoes of an empire built not on conquest, but on connection. An empire whispered across the waves, from the 8th to the 16th centuries. Long before European empires dominated the seas, a chain of wealthy African cities rose beside the Indian Ocean. Their ships crossed waters, linking Africa to Arabia, Persia, India, and China. Gold, ivory, spices, and knowledge flowed through East Africa, creating one of the most globally connected civilizations the continent has ever known. Yet today, most people have never heard of the Swahili civilization. The world forgot that Africa once helped connect entire oceans. The story of the Swahili coast doesn't begin with grand cities, but with the quiet resilience of its people. For millennia, various groups thrived along this fertile stretch of East Africa. By the first millennium CE, Bantu-speaking communities had migrated and settled these vibrant shores, bringing with them sophisticated agricultural practices, ironworking skills, and a deep understanding of their environment. They were fishers, farmers, and skilled artisans, laying the essential African foundations of what would become a monumental civilization. But their greatest inheritance was not on land, but on the water. The colossal, rhythmic breath of the Indian Ocean monsoon winds. From roughly October to March, the Kaskazi winds blew from the northeast, carrying ships southwards. Then, from April to September, the Kusi winds reversed, pushing vessels back north. This natural, annual conveyor belt made long-distance maritime travel not just possible, but predictable, shaping destiny. These early coastal communities were not isolated. Evidence suggests ancient maritime trade routes existed even before the Swahili emerged, connecting East Africa to the Red Sea and Arabian Peninsula. It was a gradual, almost organic process of contact, subtle exchanges of goods, ideas, and people that seeded a future empire. These were the earliest whispers across the water, precursors to a thunderous global conversation. As the 8th century dawned, something profound began to shift along the East African coast. With the unwavering rhythm of the monsoons, more and more Arab and Persian merchants, driven by the expanding Islamic world's hunger for exotic goods, began to make these shores their second home. They brought with them new technologies, administrative ideas, and the burgeoning faith of Islam. These were not invaders, but partners in commerce. African coastal settlements, already thriving, now experienced a dramatic acceleration of growth. What began as seasonal trading posts gradually transformed into permanent, sophisticated urban centers. The sheer economic gravitational pull of the Indian Ocean trade fostered this urban revolution. People were drawn to the coast not just for fishing or farming, but for the untold opportunities trade offered. Crucially, this was not a simple replacement of African culture. It was a dynamic, organic blending. The indigenous African communities formed the bedrock, providing the foundational language, labor, and local knowledge. Upon this foundation, layers of Arab and Persian influence, primarily through trade and intermarriage, began to weave a new tapestry. This was the birth of the Swahili civilization, a testament to human adaptability, ingenuity, and the transformative power of exchange. It was here, in these burgeoning coastal cities, that a truly unique African maritime identity began to forge itself. From this crucible of commerce and culture, a new voice emerged, Kiswahili, Far more than just a means of communication, it became the very soul of this burgeoning civilization. Its grammatical structure, its foundational vocabulary, are undeniably Bantu, rooted deep in the African soil. Yet, centuries of intensive interaction with Arab and Persian traders enriched it, layering it with countless loanwords, particularly those related to trade, religion, and navigation. Swahili quickly evolved beyond a local dialect. It became the indispensable lingua franca of the entire East African coast, and indeed, much of the Western Indian Ocean. From the shores of Somalia to the islands of Mozambique, merchants, sailors, and scholars communicated in Swahili. It facilitated not just commerce, but the exchange of ideas, technologies, and faith. This linguistic fusion mirrored a deeper cultural synthesis. A unique Swahili identity began to crystallize, one that honored its African heritage while openly embracing influences from afar. To be Swahili was to be a citizen of the coast, connected to the land, but also to the vast open sea. It was an identity forged by the tides, an enduring testament to how profoundly Africa was shaping and being shaped by the wider world. By the 12th century, the Swahili coast was no longer a collection of burgeoning towns, but a constellation of powerful, independent city-states. Each a jewel, yet all bound by a common culture, language, and the arteries of trade. From the ancient northern port of Pate and the tranquil beauty of Lamu, down through the vibrant entrepots of Malindi and Mombasa, to the powerful island sultanates of Zanzibar and the crown jewel, Kilwa Kisiwani. These were the true urban heart of Africa's maritime empire. Their defining architectural signature was coral stone, quarried directly from the reefs. It was cut, shaped, and mortared with lime to create durable, elegant structures that could withstand the tropical climate. Houses were often multi-storied with flat roofs, internal courtyards, and elaborate, carved wooden doors that spoke volumes of a family's status and wealth. Each city was a testament to sophisticated urban planning, featuring complex water systems, public squares, and most prominently, beautifully crafted mosques that served as both spiritual centers and intellectual hubs. These cities were governed by powerful, wealthy merchant elites, often families who had accumulated fortunes through generations of trade. They were cosmopolitan, outward-looking, and deeply rooted in their African soil. Their homes were showcases of global connections, adorned with Chinese porcelain, Indian silks, and Persian carpets. The very fabric of their daily lives bore witness to a world connected by the ocean, centuries before European powers would even dream of such a reach. Among these glittering city-states, one shone brightest: Kilwa Kisiwani. From the 12th to the 15th centuries, Kilwa rose to become the undisputed economic powerhouse of the Swahili coast, its name synonymous with unparalleled wealth. Its strategic location meant it became the primary gateway for the vast quantities of gold flowing from the interior of Africa. From the rich gold fields of Sofala, in what is now Mozambique, and further inland, through sophisticated trade networks that extended to the powerful kingdom of Great Zimbabwe. Countless ounces of pure gold made their way to Kilwa's bustling harbors. This gold, alongside ivory, iron, and timber, was exchanged for textiles from India, ceramics from China, and spices from Southeast Asia, creating a staggering accumulation of capital. Travelers like the renowned 14th century Moroccan scholar Ibn Battuta were utterly astonished by Kilwa's prosperity. He described it as one of the most beautiful and well-constructed towns in the world, marveling at its splendid houses, its great mosque built of coral stone, and the lavish lifestyle of its rulers and merchants. The Sultan of Kilwa, he noted, would even wear robes of silk and gold cloth. Kilwa was more than just a trading post. It was a sophisticated sultanate, exercising influence over a vast swathe of the coast. Its minted coins, bearing the names of its rulers, were found as far away as Yemen. This was African wealth, managed by Africans, deeply integrated into a global economic system. Long before the Europeans scramble for the continent, it challenges every preconceived notion of Africa's place in ancient world commerce. The Indian Ocean was not a barrier, it was a highway. For centuries it connected a vibrant polycentric world, and the Swahili coast stood proudly at its western gateway. This was a realm where continents truly converged. From Arabia, dhows brought frankincense, myrrh, and advanced navigational knowledge. Persia contributed exquisite glazed ceramics, luxurious carpets, and sophisticated artistic traditions. India supplied fine cotton textiles, vibrant dyes, and precious gemstones, absorbing African gold and ivory in return. And from distant China came the most prized luxury of all, porcelain. The delicate celadon and the iconic blue and white wares, fragments of which litter every major Swahili archaeological site, testament to this profound connection. Swahili ships, magnificent dhows crafted from local timbers, were perfectly adapted to these waters. With their distinctive lateen sails, they were swift, reliable, and capable of traversing thousands of miles, carrying not just goods, but people, ideas, and cultures across the vast expanse. They returned laden with silks, spices, medicinal herbs, and tools, transforming the lives of those on the coast. But this grand network was not without its shadows. The trade in enslaved people, though perhaps smaller in scale than the later transatlantic trade, was also a part of this intricate system, with individuals from the interior of Africa being sold into servitude across the Indian Ocean. The Swahili civilization was not just a recipient of global trade, it was an active, vital participant, shaping markets and contributing its own unique products and culture to this interconnected world. This was Africa, playing a central role in global commerce centuries before the Atlantic world even began to stir. It is a powerful reminder of a forgotten history, a globalized Africa before the very concept of globalization was even coined. Beyond the clamor of the marketplace and the hum of maritime activity, Islam wove itself deeply into the spiritual and intellectual fabric of Swahili society. Introduced by Arab and Persian traders as early as the 8th and 9th centuries, it was not imposed by conquest, but adopted gradually, voluntarily, as coastal communities embraced the new faith and its accompanying cultural system. Mosques became the spiritual anchors of every Swahili city, serving not only as places of worship, but also as centers of learning, justice, and community life. Islamic scholarship flourished. Religious leaders and jurists were highly respected, maintaining libraries filled with manuscripts on theology, law, astronomy, and history. Literacy, particularly in Arabic script, became widespread among the educated elite and merchant classes, essential for both religious study and complex trade records. This embrace of Islam brought the Swahili coast into the broader intellectual currents of the Islamic world. From Cairo to Baghdad, it fostered a cosmopolitan outlook, connecting Swahili scholars with their counterparts across continents. Yet, it was an Islam with a distinctly African flavor, integrated seamlessly into existing customs and traditions, creating a vibrant, syncretic, cultural and religious identity. This intellectual depth, often overlooked, was as vital to Swahili power as its commercial prowess. It speaks volumes of a society that valued knowledge as much as it valued gold. Away from the grand pronouncements of sultans and the ledger books of merchants, the heartbeat of the Swahili civilization pulsed in the everyday. Life on the coast was a rich tapestry of activity, deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the ocean. Markets were vibrant, sensory explosions, a kaleidoscope of colors, aromas, and sounds. Here, local produce met global imports. Fishermen brought in their daily catch, women traded fresh produce from their gardens, and artisans displayed their crafts. It was the nerve center where news was exchanged, deals were struck, and the social fabric was woven. Swahili households, from the humble to the opulent, were the anchor of society. Family ties were paramount, and respect for elders a cornerstone. Women played crucial roles, managing households, raising children, and often participating in economic activities, from small-scale trade to managing family businesses. Their influence, though often behind the scenes, was profound, shaping the cultural continuity and daily life of the cities. The Swahili people adorned themselves with clothing that reflected their cosmopolitan world, intricate patterns, fine imported fabrics, and elaborate jewelry. Their cuisine was a delicious fusion of African staples with spices from India and culinary techniques from Arabia. Music, like the soulful tarab, combined African rhythms with Middle Eastern melodies, reflecting the deep cultural layering that defined their identity. This wasn't just a civilization of grand monuments and vast trade. It was a deeply human society, full of laughter, struggle, faith, and the enduring spirit of people who had built a powerful world from the interaction of land and sea. The Swahili world had flourished for centuries, a beacon of global connection and prosperity. But on a clear day in April 1498, that golden age began to tremble. 3 strange, hulking ships, unlike any seen before in these waters, appeared off the coast of what is now Kenya. They were the caravels of Vasco da Gama, sailing under the banner of Portugal. Da Gama's arrival was not a mere trading expedition. It was an intrusion, driven by an insatiable European desire to bypass Arab and Venetian middlemen and seize direct control of the immensely lucrative spice trade. Portugal harbored ambitions far beyond peaceful commerce. They sought to dominate, to conquer, to establish a maritime empire that would fundamentally redraw the map of global power. The Swahili city-states, accustomed to a world of open, competitive trade, were initially wary. They were sophisticated, well-defended, but unprepared for the ruthless, uncompromising nature of European naval power. Da Gama's initial interactions were a volatile mix of negotiation and intimidation. He sought pilots, supplies, and intelligence, often taking what he wanted by force. His true intent became chillingly clear: not to join the existing trade network, but to dismantle it and erect his own. The calm, predictable rhythm of the monsoons was about to be shattered by the thunder of cannons, and the very foundations of Africa's ocean empire would be tested to their limits. The encounter was brutal. The Portuguese, armed with superior weaponry, heavy cannons mounted on their ships, systematically targeted and attacked the very heart of Swahili prosperity. Cities like Kilwa, Mombasa, and Sofala, once bustling hubs of international trade, were bombarded, sacked, and razed. The magnificent palace of Hosuni Kubwa on Kilwa Kisiwani, a symbol of African ingenuity and wealth, was partially destroyed. This was not just about taking territory. It was about shattering a way of life. The Portuguese established heavily fortified garrisons, enforced a brutal tribute system, and ruthlessly redirected trade routes to serve their own imperial ambitions. They sought to cut off the Swahili cities from their long-standing partners in Arabia, India, and China, to starve them of the very commerce that had fueled their existence for centuries. The economic disruption was catastrophic. The flow of gold from the interior diminished, hijacked or rerouted. Merchants were forced to pay exorbitant duties or simply went out of business. The vibrant, independent city-states, once masters of their own destiny, found themselves caught in the merciless grip of a foreign power. Over the next 2 centuries, the Swahili civilization, though resilient, slowly withered under the weight of this colonial disruption. While some cities eventually regained a measure of autonomy under Omani influence later on, the golden age of independent Swahili maritime power was irrevocably broken. The vibrant, globally connected African empire, built on centuries of trade and cultural exchange, was largely dismantled by the arrival of a new, aggressive global order. And here lies the profound historical question, the haunting silence in our collective memory. Why are African maritime civilizations, like the Swahili, so rarely taught in global history? Why do so many people imagine Africa as isolated, primitive, or discovered, only when European ships finally rounded its cape? The answer, perhaps, is deeply uncomfortable. The narrative of an uncivilized Africa served a powerful purpose for centuries of colonial expansion: to acknowledge a sophisticated, globally connected African empire, rich in culture and commerce, long before European powers dominated the world, would be to challenge the very foundations of colonial justification. It would force a radical re-evaluation of who Africa was and what Africa contributed. How different would world history feel if the Swahili civilization were widely understood? If we recognized Africa's central role in connecting continents, in shaping global markets, in fostering cultural synthesis centuries before the modern era, it would dismantle deeply ingrained stereotypes. It would reveal a continent not as a passive recipient of history, but as an active, powerful force in shaping it. This is the part of the world's story that history often ignores, and in doing so, we lose a vital piece of our shared human heritage. Though its golden age was disrupted, the Swahili civilization was never truly extinguished. Its legacy endures, vibrant and resilient, in the heart of East Africa. The Kiswahili language, once the tongue of traders, is now spoken by over 100 million people, a unifying force across East and Central Africa, recognized as an official language of the African Union. The coral stone cities, though many lie in ruins, stand as silent, eloquent witnesses to a glorious past, now protected as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, slowly yielding their secrets to archaeologists and historians. The unique cultural blend, the architectural styles, the culinary traditions, the music, all continue to thrive, particularly in places like Zanzibar, Lamu, and Mombasa, shaping the identity of millions. Africa's forgotten ocean history is not merely a tale of ancient ruins. It is a living, breathing heritage. It is a powerful narrative of ingenuity, adaptability, and profound global influence that refuses to be erased. It reminds us that Africa was and remains a continent of unparalleled historical depth and global connection. The Swahili civilization stands as a testament to what is possible when cultures meet not with conflict, but with curiosity, trade, and shared ambition. It is a story whispered by the monsoon winds, a powerful echo on the tides, waiting for the world to finally listen. This was Africa's forgotten ocean empire, and its story is far from over. This documentary was crafted using advanced AI to push the boundaries of visual storytelling. If you appreciate this blend of history and innovation, please subscribe to support the channel. It only takes a second, but it ensures you'll be the very first to witness our next premiere.